It's strange how something that once felt unshakable can suddenly feel fragile. How a love story that was once the envy of an entire industry can turn into a headline that no one ever imagined reading. For years, Remy Ma and Papoose were more than just a couple in hip-hop. They were a symbol, a living, breathing example of loyalty in a world where fame and temptation make that word feel rare. Whenever people doubted whether true love could survive the chaos of the music business, someone would mention them. Their names were almost always followed by the same phrase: if they can make it, anyone can. They weren't just married. They were partners in every sense. They built careers side by side. They raised a family. They weathered storms. They stood in front of cameras together and, more importantly, stood behind each other when no one was watching. But now, that image has been cracked. When Remy Ma finally spoke out, it wasn't in an angry social media rant. It wasn't with shouting or tears. It was in a quiet, controlled tone during an interview. A tone that almost made her words more powerful. She revealed something that shifted the way people saw her marriage in an instant. She claimed that Papoose, the man known for being steadfast and loyal, had left her for another woman. And this wasn't just any other woman. This was someone who already had a fiancé. The words hit hard. They weren't messy, they weren't exaggerated, but they carried the weight of betrayal. And for fans who had watched their love story unfold over the years, it was like hearing that the last couple you believed in had fallen apart. But before you can truly understand the impact of this, you have to rewind. Go back to the beginning. To the time before rumors and headlines. Back when their love was something everyone admired. Remy Ma and Papoose met in an industry that doesn't exactly make it easy to build a lasting relationship. The music business is loud, unpredictable, and full of distractions. Most relationships buckle under the pressure. But somehow theirs didn't. They connected deeply and quickly, and their bond was strong enough to face the ultimate test not long after it began. In 2008, Remy Ma was sentenced to serve 8 years in prison. In a world where even a few months of distance can weaken a relationship, 8 years might as well be forever. Many people assumed that would be the end for them. Not because they didn't care for each other, but because the odds were stacked against them. But Papoose didn't run. In fact, his loyalty became part of his identity. He visited her regularly. He spoke about her in interviews with pride. He defended her in the media. He turned down opportunities that would have taken him far away from where she was being held. To fans, he became the blueprint for what standing by your partner truly looked like. When Remy was finally released in 2014, their reunion was a moment fans had been waiting years to see. He was there, smiling as she walked free. They embraced, and in that moment, it felt like love had won. They re-entered the public eye as a unit. They did interviews together, attended red carpets together, built their family, and continued to support each other's careers. For years, the image was consistent. They were inseparable, unbreakable, and still deeply in love. But in hindsight, there were little things, small changes, that hinted the story might not be as perfect as it looked. It began subtly. A missed birthday celebration here. An award show where one attended without the other. Fans noticed that Papoose seemed to be traveling more often on his own. There were fewer public displays of affection on social media. At first, it was easy to explain away. They were busy, working on different projects, living the life of two high-profile artists. But those who knew them say the energy between them started to shift. Conversations that used to flow naturally became shorter. There were more silences, and not the comfortable kind. And then the sightings began. At first, they seemed harmless. Papoose photographed in public talking to a woman. But then she appeared again and again. Always in different settings, always close enough to make people curious. Still, without context, there wasn't much to say until the internet started digging. Fans identified the woman. She had a public social media presence, and it didn't take long to find something surprising. Months before she was linked to Papoose, she had posted photos wearing an engagement ring. Not just any ring, but one she flaunted alongside pictures of another man who people quickly identified as her fiancé. This changed everything. Because if the timelines matched up, It meant Papoose hadn't just been stepping outside his marriage, he had been stepping into someone else's relationship. For Remy, the discovery must have been devastating. But she didn't take to Instagram Live to air it out. She didn't drop names or throw accusations in public. Instead, she went quiet, at least on the surface. But silence doesn't always mean peace. Her social media posts began to take on a different tone. She shared quotes about trust, about how some people's loyalty is conditional. They weren't direct shots, but to her followers, the meaning was obvious. Behind closed doors, friends of the couple noticed changes. There were more arguments, less laughter. What had once been an unshakable sense of togetherness was replaced by tension and distance. And then came the interview. It wasn't explosive in the way people expected. There were no screaming matches, no dramatic tears, no throwing of shade. But ironically, that calm, composed delivery from Remy Ma made the moment hit even harder. Her words were measured, her tone steady, but behind her eyes, you could feel the storm. That's what made it so intense, not the volume, but the weight. She didn't mince words. She didn't need to. With a single sentence, she shifted the narrative completely. The woman he's been linked to wasn't even single. She had a whole fiancé. Let that sink in. This wasn't just a scandal. It was betrayal layered with another betrayal. Remy didn't just feel hurt because her man strayed. No, it cut deeper because he chose to step into a situation that was already toxic, already messy, already dishonest. It wasn't just infidelity, it was a decision. A choice to get involved in something that had red flags waving from all sides. And for someone like Remy Ma, who's built her name on loyalty, ride-or-die love, and surviving the trenches, that's not just a slap in the face, it's a knife in the back. Meanwhile, Papoose? Silent. No statement. No denial. No Instagram post. Not even a cryptic tweet. And in this digital age, silence is a statement. People interpret it how they want. Some think he's staying quiet to protect Remy, not wanting to escalate the drama. Others say he's just avoiding accountability because deep down he knows he messed up and there's nothing he can say that'll fix this. Not now. But social media? Oh, social media did not stay silent. Hashtags like #WeStandWithRemy and #Papoose the Hypocrite started trending within hours. Old interview clips resurfaced, ones where Papoose passionately claimed that cheating is the ultimate betrayal and that he'd never be that guy. Now, those same words are being used against him in TikToks, memes, and Instagram reels that are racking up millions of views. The internet never forgets, and right now, it's not letting him off the hook. People are divided. Some say every relationship has its breaking point. Others are still clinging to hope, convinced that this is just a rough patch they'll move past. But let's be honest, this isn't a rumor. This is real.
Public. Raw.
And ugly. The worst part? For years, Remy Ma and Papoose were that couple. Hip-hop's power duo. The blueprint for loyalty, love, and holding each other down through prison bids, career setbacks, and industry drama. They made us believe that real love, solid, unshakable love, still existed. And now, that image has been shattered. And maybe that's why people are taking this so personally. Because if they can fall apart, what hope is there for anyone else? This isn't just about Remy and Papoose anymore. It's about the illusion of perfect love. About realizing that no matter how strong it looks from the outside, the inside could be full of cracks we never see until it all falls apart. As the dust settles, the biggest questions remain. Can love survive once loyalty has been shattered? Can trust ever be rebuilt from the rubble of betrayal? Or is this the end? A sad, messy finale to what once felt like an unbreakable bond? Right now, the silence from both sides is deafening. And maybe that's because the pain is too fresh, the wounds too raw. Some truths, after all, are too painful to say out loud. And some heartbreaks, they don't explode. They quietly burn you from the inside out.
Perfect.